Our next speaker this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is Dale Folwell. Dale Folwell was elected last November to serve a 4-year term as our state treasurer. Dale Folwell is a financial consultant from Winston-Salem. He served 4 terms in the North Carolina House of Representatives, 2 years as a Speaker pro tem. After leaving the legislature, Governor Pat McCrory appointed Folwell as the Assistant Secretary of Commerce and charged him with managing the Employment Security Commission. What a job. And in this role, Dale Folwell helped the state retire its federal unemployment debt in record time. You heard Senator Tillis talk about that. As our state treasurer, Dale Folwell oversees the state's health plan and the state's financial portfolio. Let's welcome our state treasurer, Dale Folwell.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning. I have about 9 or 10 minutes to give you a lot of information. If numbers make you nauseous, you might all leave now. Last year when I spoke to this group, I held up this book by Harlan Bowles called The Keeper of the Public Purse. And on page 143 of this book, Treasurer Bowles stated that the state treasurer has more constitutional and statutory responsibilities and duties than any other elected official in the state except for the governor. And after being in the job for 1 year, I agree with that. He said except for the governor. Obviously, the governor has command of the National Guard. I'm going to talk to you as the Farm Bureau community today, but I'm also going to speak to you as citizens of North Carolina to tell you what I've found. Every day, the job that I have and the job that you have is very similar. It's very similar in that I'm in the check delivering business. What does that mean? What that means is that every 30 days, I spend $800 million for pension and health care and prescription drug benefit just for active and retired state employees. $800 million every 30 days. Just like you, I'm in the check delivering business. Secondly, just like you, we don't have the luxury of being Ernest T. Bass. You know, Ernest T. Bass, every time he saw a problem, he thought it was a window, and every time he thought about a solution, he thought it was a rock, and he would throw the rock through the window, and he'd giggle, and he'd go on to the next one. We have to solve problems at the Treasurer's office, just like you have to solve problems for your clients and Farm Bureau. People ask me what the last year has been like, and generally speaking, most of my time every day is disappointing people at a pace that I think they can tolerate. Now, why is that? The reason is that when I got to be the treasurer, the pension plan of North Carolina's fees that it paid to Wall Street had gone from $50 to $650 million per year. When you poke at Wall Street, it pokes back. In the first 6 months, we cut Wall Street fees by $65 million, which is a 4-year run rate of $250 million in Wall Street fees. And I just signed some papers last Thursday to cut them another $6 million, which will be another $25 million over a 4-year period. Secondly, I want to inform you that the state pension plan is the 26th largest pool of public money in the entire world. And almost 1 out of 10 adult North Carolinians depend on a check from the state pension or the health plan every 30 days. The other reason that our jobs are similar is that we have participants just like you have customers. In addition to the pension plan, I also am the sole fiduciary of the state health plan, which is the largest purchaser of health care in North Carolina. Why is that important? The reason that's important is the amount of money that I'm going to spend in the state health plan this year, not Medicare, not Medicaid, just for active and retired state employees, some of whom are sitting in this room right now who are related to others who are. The amount of money that I'm going to spend out of the state health plan this year exceeds the General Assembly appropriation to the entire university system, and it exceeds the appropriation for all of justice and public safety in North Carolina. This is not just a small amount of money. It's over $3 billion a year just for health care and prescription benefits. So what did I find in the pension plan that I think might be interesting to you? Very simply, fees have been going up, life expectancies have been going up, and interest rates have been going down. Let me tell you about life expectancies. In 1974, there were 248 90-year-olds who were getting a pension check from the state pension plan. 248. Mr. President, this morning there are 7,120 90-year-olds who are getting a pension check from the state pension plan. The life expectancies going up is obviously a blessed event, but it puts enormous financial pressure on not only the pension, but also the health care benefits. On the health care, I want to read 3 sentences to you that may sound familiar to the job and responsibilities that you have as Farm Bureau. Number 1, the state health plan is at risk for overpaying medical claims because the plan does not follow up on potential overpayments identified by its external auditors, and it does not attempt to identify root causes of the errors so that it can collect additional amounts. The state health plan is at risk for overpaying medical claims because it does not adequately manage its audit recovery function. The state health plan is at risk for overpaying medical claims because the plan has not taken action to prevent the coordination of errors. And this is the last one. The state health plan is at risk for overpaying medical claims because the plan pays out over $3 billion a year in medical and prescription drug benefit, but the plan auditors do not have access to the contracts and cannot independently verify that the plan receives the proper contractual discounts from the Blue Cross Blue Shield and other provider network. You know, let me give you an example of what that looks like. This is an explanation of benefit. Everybody in this room who's ever gotten medical services in this state has received something like this in the mail. And it doesn't matter where you're from in this state or how smart you are, I can promise you that you cannot tell me what you paid for and what it cost when you consume health care in North Carolina. This particular explanation of benefit includes a $169 facility charge for an $11 flu shot. My optimism in being the state treasurer on this state health plan, which currently has a $34 billion unfunded liability, my optimism comes from the fact that if I can turn these participants in these plans into consumers, into fans, into watchdogs, 750,000 people who actually look at this explanation of benefit and try to see if they're overcharged. If I'm close to being successful at doing that, I think that we have a bright future in the state health plan. As I close, Mr. President, just wanted to thank this group for its participation in not only having me, but also all that you do. I got this from Richard over there a while ago, and he said if I just add 4 more to those, I can get an ice cream cone. What is that all about?
You go down there, you'll find out.
Okay. But the reason I bring this up to your attention is that, you know, I don't sign the $1 bill, which is where most people see the word treasurer. We manage 110 billion of these. And as keepers of the public purse, we are trying to figure out what's right. We're trying to get it right. We're trying to keep it right. 3 closing remarks. Number 1 is that this year, as I've already stated, on a 4-year run rate, we've cut $250 million in Wall Street fees. We were able to freeze Medicare premiums for our 65-year-olds and above without dipping into reserves. We were able to freeze active family premiums this year without dipping into reserves. We reported over $10 billion of earnings in the state pension plan, and we saved you $131 million just by refinancing some of the state's debt, similar to what you or your children or grandchildren would do when they refinance a house. As I end where I started, what I do every day is very similar to what you do every day, just applying good common sense. The thing that I look forward to working with the Farm Bureau on over the next 6 weeks is to get the health insurance fee put back in the freezer for 2018. This is, yeah, you can clap on that. So, this was a premium tax, 2.82, 2.86, I'm not exactly sure, that was hot-wired into Obamacare several years ago. And that premium tax has been put in the freezer, sunset for 2017. It's coming back out of the freezer for 2018. This premium tax that not many people in this state are even aware of, except folks like you, is going to impact the state health plan $43 million next year. North Carolinians $396 million next year, and United States citizens over $17 billion next year. All I'm asking Congress to do, and I wrote a letter to the President asking him to sign an executive order, is until they figure out what they're going to do with health care reform, let's leave the health insurance fee or health insurance tax in the freezer for another year. Thank you very much. So at the end of the day, as keepers of the public purse, inside that purse is money that belongs to Republicans and independents and Democrats and people from all genders and all races from all parts of the state. Our money is green. And the people who are protecting you from criminals who are our corrections officers, people who are school teachers, troopers, and other hardworking state and local employees, they expect the keepers of the public purse to figure out what's right, get it right, and keep it right. My last name's Folwell. My time is up, and I thank you for yours. God bless you.